Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. This is Project Z28, and that's a very dirty, greasy KY Chevy about to install a torque converter in the car. Here we are.
The drawers are labeled.
There we go, man. There it is. Woo! Leaky. The new torque converter going in. I'll make this car freaking run now. There you go, guys. A brand new torque converter. Look at this guy, all greasy underneath my car. What more can you say from a guy that drive a couple states down, come over and help somebody do this? Or not even help, he's just doing the job. To make a quick run to Lowe's, I made an error ordering the torque converter. It needs nuts and bolts where the factory torque converter is drilled for the bolt to go through. This did, and I remember there was a comments about people asking what kind of nuts and bolts to order, and I was like, ha, just use the same ones. Well, now it's costing me a trip to Lowe's because the new torque converter is not threaded for the bolt. So let's get some bolts. And yes, before you say anything, they are grade 8 bolts. They are strong enough. Let's go back to KY. He's working on the car right now. We should have this thing running here shortly. Man, he's fast. We already got this thing back together and running, man. Good job. About 8, got here at 8 in the morning. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 6 hours. 3 hours in, 3 hours to take it out, 3 hours to put it back in. Good job, KY. Moment of truth. Oh man, it doesn't even budge. Put in reverse, there's nothing. Let's really test it. Might be asking too much. Okay. The tuner will get that figured out. But look, put in reverse. Okay, there was a little funk. But it didn't stall. It's not surging in reverse. It's awesome. Car feels fantastic. Alright, man, everybody. Special shout out to KY Chevy coming all the way down here to do this work for me. I can't thank you enough for that, man.
No problem, buddy.
Go to his channel, send him some love, man. It's what we gotta do. The great thing about the car community here, man, coming together and doing this stuff. Guy drove all the way from Kentucky to come here to do this work for me, man. What more can you say about a person that would do that? I mean, right now, this. She's sounding mean, guys. She's sounding mean. Let's see if it'll idle in drive with the AC on. AC's on. It's not liking it. It's stumbling a little bit. But the tuner can work with this now. The tuner can work with this. This car is never idle in gear with the AC on. Never. Cars Coffee Life. Check out that beautiful design. Thank you, Chicago's Finest Moment, for recommending the Project Z28 line. You can get your merchandise down below at the Teespring store. Proceeds go to help this channel. You know, we just put a bunch of money in a torque converter. I still got to do an exhaust system. We got dyno runs to pull. So every little bit helps. I have a monthly $20–25 to Epidemic Sound for the music I use. So hate pushing the stuff, but you know, it's what keeps the channel going. So anyhow, yeah, KY Chevy, he made it home safely. Again, I cannot thank him enough for coming here and doing the work on the car. I mean, that's just amazing. An individual would drive that far to come help me with this car. I mean, it saved me some money from taking it to a transmission shop. It saved me, if I did the work myself, it definitely saved me from really hurting my back, from laying on this ground, getting up 100 times. So, man, thank you very much. Guys, go to his channel, subscribe, thank him, go over there and say, hey, so you did the work. Thank him. You know, send some love over his way, man, because that was really a phenomenal thing that this guy did. He came over here knowing that I was leaving the next day to go on a camping trip. So he came the day after Thanksgiving, and literally the next day we had a camping trip. And I told him that, it's like, dude, I'm not even going to really be able to spend a lot of time with you. I hate it, you know. Let's, you know, try to work another thing. He said, no problem. We'll come down, get this done. Me and the wife will spend some time down here. So there you have it. But we did run into one issue. The car isn't shifting into overdrive. I got with my tuner. I thought maybe because it was a high stall converter, the computer wasn't liking what was going on. But this is really just a very basic transmission. So there's like a 4-wire plug that controls the lockup of stuff. So it's not very sophisticated. So the tuner said no, there's nothing that can be done. He does have a lockout programmed into it where it should lock up, but basically we lowered the transmission. What I'm thinking happened because the TV cable and all that went down with the transmission. I think when we brought it up, we kind of routed it a little bit different way, so there's a little bit more of a bend, and it felt a little tight. So what I've done this morning, I've already gone ahead and adjusted it, got it to where it's a little, I don't want to say slack because you don't want to slack, but the way this cable angles is kind of weird. But as soon as I move the gas pedal, there's just a slight bit of movement, and then the cable moves. I think that's where I had it before. So I'm going to go ahead, get in the car, fingers crossed. Let's see where this thing shifts. Look at how awesome that sign looks. And you can have your very own too and save 10% as well. Links down below. The nice thing is you can send them a picture. They'll custom make the sign, or they have some pre-made signs, and you can still customize them by, you know, adding a name or something, you know, whoever, you know, Tanya's Kitchen, Bill's Pool Room, whatever it is, you know, Jimmy's Car. So all kinds of neat things, man. Check it out. The link is down below. So before I go on any further, number one, I forgot to bring the GoPro on the drive, so sorry. I'm gonna just explain to you what happened. Two, this has nothing to do with KY Chevy. I'm having a little bit of issue with the transmission, but it's nothing that he did. The only thing we did is we lowered the transmission, put a torque converter on. We haven't touched anything, and this was one of my biggest fears, was messing around with the transmission that's damn near 30 years old and has over 90,000 miles on it. They really don't like to be shook and jiggled in that. I mean, so the transmission never leaned at any kind of weird angle. It was never dropped off a jack. We slid it back, lowered it down enough, and that was it. But I mean, inevitably, you know, you have to sit there and wiggle it. There's 2 pins on the back of the engine block that you have to break that thing free from. In 30 years, they kind of get stuck. But I mean, nothing has been wrenched on. So this is something that I'm going to have to take a little bit of time and diagnose. It's Thursday. I really want to get this video up. So that brings me to point 3. Please don't try to diagnose this car over the internet. I do appreciate everyone's comments and support. Unless you're Sparty Nation, then he's never done me wrong. He's the very first subscriber to the channel, so he's always giving me good advice. I mean, if you do know a bit about these transmissions, go ahead, chime in. But I'm doing some research. It's possibly what I'm looking at is maybe the governor could have some issues. I'm going to have to get underneath the car. That looks like it's something easy I can check out. Pull a cover and the governor comes out. There's a good possibility there could be some debris in there. Like I said, this is an old transmission, 90,000 miles. There's definitely some debris from the clutch packs wearing floating around in there. I could have a solenoid issue. Also, please don't tell me how to adjust TV cables. I know the little trick. Push the button, push it in, hit the gas, it clicks, it auto adjusts. Okay, so I know this stuff. I'm not trying to be mean or rude, but I've done this and I'm still getting comments on this car from stuff that happened a long time ago. There's a whole playlist of Project Z28 being built. Comments. I'm not gonna get into it, but the stuff is there. Stuff that's been fixed. It's been fixed for a really long time, and the reason we did things. So even some of the people making comments about the stuff. Well, here we go. We put the torque converter in. The car's idling. It's running. It's doing great. So I adjusted the TV cable. Took put a little bit of slack in there. Took it out. It shifted overdrive right where the tuner had it set. He told me he had it set at like 55 miles an hour for the torque converter to lock. I hit 55, it shifted, the RPMs dropped right where he said it would, and everything was fine. I went down the end of the road, I turned around, I came back, it shifted fine. I put my foot to the floor, it downshifted, the thing freaking took off. And then when it went to go to third gear, all of a sudden the tach just stayed up to about 5 grand and the car wasn't gaining any more speed. It's like I fixed one thing and then something, so I think something's going on in the transmission. Whenever I gunned it, brought the pressure up, it must have stirred some stuff up and plugged something. So I don't know, valve body or something. I'm not a transmission guy, I don't know. That's why I'm going to have to research this. Whoa. Sorry, it was getting so loud outside. I had to close the garage door because I would have never got this filmed. And the light timed out. So, yeah, so I'm going to have to do some research at this. At worst case, the transmission is going to have to come back out. And I'll drop it off at a transmission shop. It's not really something I want to do. I had free help removing the transmission, put the torque converter in. But, I mean, if I have to, we'll put the car back in the air, we'll drop the transmission out, drop it at a shop. Because I don't know, I don't like leaving cars like this places because people just don't respect. And I agree, I know it's not everybody, but I've just always had bad experiences with people disrespecting stuff, especially performance cars. If you guys go back, my 17 to 50 Camaro had the transmission shutter issue. Took it into the dealer. Guy gets in it. He starts it. Here's the Pro Charger. Gets out, pops the hood, looks at it, gets back in the car, and then revs it. And I had to go out there and tell him, man, hey, have some respect. He's like, oh, I just was I just touched the gas and it revved. And I'm like, why? It's an automatic. The only thing your foot should have done is been put on the brake and you put it in drive. Bring it inside, flush my transmission. He got all flustered and then left, which is fine. I had the same issue with the GTO. When I bought it brand new, they lost one of the keys. I bring it in for them to program the key. Guy's in there revving the crap out of it. Damn near, I about freaking wanted to grab the guy. And I was yelling at him at the top of my lungs, got the GM involved, taught this guy a little bit about respect. I remember even when I had my 92 Camaro, I brought it in, had new tires put on, had it aligned. It's just one of those things you do. And the first thing the guy does is he leaves and he starts pulling out and I stop him. What are you doing? Test drive. I'm like, no, you're not. You're going to do the alignment and put the tires on. Oh, we have to test drive it. Now, here's the thing. A week prior, I had an S10 pickup. I lowered it down. I brought it in there for an alignment. There was no test drive. They put it on the rack, did the alignment, gave it back to me. They didn't test drive it before or after. Why did you have to test drive the Z28? See, so like I said, at worst case, if I can't figure this out, we'll just pull the transmission. I'll get somebody to rebuild it. I was looking online. It's about like $3,000, or somewhere in the high 2,000, 2,800 for a rebuilt 700 R4. I was kind of looking to maybe if I could put a more of a performance-oriented transmission, but I can get it rebuilt. I can take it to a shop and say, hey, go ahead and tweak this up a little bit. Let's put like a shift kit in here, sharpen it up. That's at worst case. I'm really hoping that maybe the governor or something like that. I might just have to drop the pan and put a new filter in here and just check. I don't know. Like I said, I'm going to have to do some research. So that's where we are with that. We will get this thing figured out. This car just likes to bust my freaking balls. I'm going to rename it Ball Buster. Alright, so that's where we are with that. Like I said, I want to get this video out. It's been a while. I know KY wants to see his debut here on my channel, so I want to get this video out, and there's really not too much more I can go on with this. So that's where we are. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't. Like, shares, comments are definitely appreciated. Links down below to all kinds of good stuff, discounts and stuff like that. So check out the links down below. Find out what kind of gear I use. If you're in the market for drones and stuff like that, I get discounts. I get discounts for quite a few things. So check it out down below. Christmas is coming up, so I know you want to do some shopping, get you some gear. All right. Thanks for watching. Please support the channel. It looks like I'm going to have to dump more money into this car. Hopefully not a lot. Governors aren't that expensive. But if I got to rebuild this damn transmission, oh, I swear, man. So, it is what it is. All right. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.